Way down here, you need a reason to move. Feel a fool, running your stateside dreams. Lose your load, leave your mind behind, baby Jane. Oh, Mexico, you sound so simple, I just got to go. The sun's so hot, I forgot to go home. Guess I'll have to go now. Americana got the sleepy eye, but his body's still shaking like a live wire. Sleepy senorita with their eyes on fire. Oh, Mexico, it sounds so sweet with the sun
Good morning, and welcome to Kenan Stadium on this beautiful Carolina morning. Welcome to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I'm Ron Strauss, Executive Vice Provost and Chief International Officer and Chair of the Commencement Committee. It is my pleasure to introduce the academic procession and begin the commencement ceremony. Please welcome the distinguished representatives of the Chancellor's Cabinet and the faculty, led by Faculty Marshal Professor Terry Rhodes. Please welcome the candidates for doctoral, master's, and professional degrees. Welcome the candidates for baccalaureate degrees. Please welcome the fabulous members of the class of 1967 returning to celebrate their 50th class reunion.
Just a little bit, Mr.
that there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough, ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no I thought love was only true in fairy tales, and for someone else, but not for me. Our love was out to get me, that's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Then I saw her face, now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love, I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. I thought love was more or less a given thing. It seems the more I gave, the less I got. What's the use in trying? All you get is pain. When I needed sunshine, I got rain. Oh, then I saw her face, now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love, I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Oh, then I saw her face, now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love, I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. It's a solid face, now I'm a believer. Not a taste of doubt in my mind. Said I'm a believer, yeah, 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 yeah. I thought love was only true in fairy tales, and for someone else, but not for me. Our love was out to get me, that's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Then I saw her face, now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love, I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. I thought love was more or less a given thing. Seems the more I gave, the less I got. What's the use in trying? All you get is pain. When I needed sunshine, I got rain. Oh, then I saw her face, now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love, I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Oh, then I saw her face, now I'm a believer. It's a solemn thing. Now I'm a believer. I'm not a taste. I'm down in my mind. Said I'm a believer. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Please welcome Chancellor Carol Folt and the distinguished members of the Platform Party led by Faculty Marshal Terry Rhodes.
Welcome, everyone, to the 2017 Spring Commencement Ceremony of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I had a perfect morning, walking brick paths lined with majestic trees past historic stone walls on my own graduation pilgrimage to the Old Well. That's the place where on the very first day you took a hopeful sip from our fountain of knowledge. I think you were probably just thinking about how to get through the first week of class. But here you are today, after walking those same brick paths countless times, looking mighty fine in your academic robes, under Carolina blue skies, minutes from completing this day. I've been waiting for this day too. You were my first class, the one I greeted. Yes, thank you. You were the ones I greeted first through my first days here as chancellor, all of us a bit nervous and anxious to get started. And along the way, we built more than a body of work, more than having experiences that stretched our horizons, and even more than making memories. We created a home. Please stand as the cadets and midshipmen of the Army, Navy, and Air Force Reserve Corps training units at UNC-Chapel Hill present the colors. And then please join in song as UNC Robertson Scholar and Class of 2017 graduate in music and Italian, Shefali Jaluta leads us in singing the national anthem. Please be seated. Good morning. Let me extend a warm Tar Heel welcome to our esteemed guests, our platform party, our faculty, our staff, families, friends, and students, soon to be graduates. We share this commencement with Mother's Day and with some very special great guests, the mothers, the grandmothers, some great-grandmothers, and so join me in a huge applause of welcome for all the moms here with us today. Whether they're here with us today in body or in spirit, we owe these women and all of our other caregivers in our lives so much. They helped you create the sense of home that you brought with you when you came to Chapel Hill, where it's been refined and expanded. And now Carolina has truly become your home. And as such, it's a place that you will take with you. Many of you arrived not knowing anyone. And you only knew that you had a very smart admissions department. But through the choices that you made and through the magic of a place and a community that truly values excellent, hard work, community, and service, your character and the character of your class has taken shape. In these years, you've embraced service to an extraordinary level, doing more than $4 million hours. It probably feels like $4 million, but 4 million hours of public service and you made a real difference in the lives of people in North Carolina and the world. In these years, you've also excelled at unprecedented levels in all types of competitions, performances, as interns, as students, as teachers, as lawyers, as doctors, as researchers. In these years, you've made discoveries. You've published papers. You wrote novels, made movies, built companies, raised money. You prepared and served our nation. You ministered to the most needy. You taught. You sang. You won championships. And as all of you flourished, Carolina flourished. Of course, you also lost a lot of sleep. It's been calculated that a college student gets 3 hours less a night than they actually need. So if you do the math on that, each of you is graduating with about a 200-day sleep deficit. So if you want to sleep all day tomorrow or even all week, you have my blessing. In these years, you have been given opportunities that most people can only dream of having. And you can truly only repay that debt by taking very seriously the belief that the investment that was made in you was made in the public good. You studied with some of the most talented and creative people and minds of the era. And you took more than 6 million course hours with them. You learned so much that your brain changed. And I'm serious. Your brain continues to develop well into your 20s. And research shows that when you've been doing here, especially when you've tried novel things, when you developed new skills, when you painted, when you danced, when you competed, created, your brain has become even more agile and efficient than when you began. So thank you, Carolina. In these years, you've become part of a very special community, a community that expresses gratitude and the desire to do good, one that seeks to live life with compassion and humility and expects to be judged by the content of your character. And these are the most lasting characteristics and qualities of Carolina that will stay with you, and I truly believe they're going to become part of the communities that you'll create ahead and will grow even stronger as your worldview grows. In these years, you've been part of an extraordinary Carolina family. Just look around. These incredible people have been there whenever you needed them. They were there to laugh and cry. They were there to celebrate not 1, not 2, but 4 national championships and 25 ACC championships. They were there to help you raise $3 million with Dance Marathon and Relay for Life. They shared 400,000 meals of late-night pancakes at the Rams. And you spent 500,000 days traveling, working, and studying abroad. And they were there to innovate and launch numerous social service and entrepreneurial ventures. In all these years, you've been changing, but it's happened largely without your even knowing it. Bill Watterson, the creator of Calvin and Hobbes, says, "You know what's weird? Day by day, nothing seems to change, but pretty soon, everything's different." Do you remember the moment when you told your parents it's time to go home, and you meant to go home to Chapel Hill? Well, that need to move on, to keep going, is also going to be the fuel for your curiosity that helps you move on to your next move. The great French poet Charles Baudelaire wrote in his poem Les Voyages, "But the true voyagers are only those who leave just to be leaving, hearts light like balloons. They never turn aside from their fate, and without knowing why, they always say, 'Let's go.'" Well, as much as I like the image of all of you heading out, with your hearts light like balloons, I suspect that at least a few of you are also feeling anxious. But I'm not worried about you. I know that you're ready for your next move. You are so prepared. You're also joined today by another amazing group who graduated just 50 years ago, embarking on a similar journey. Like you, they came to Carolina to discover themselves, and like you, they left to a rapidly changing world. So please join me now in welcoming and greeting the fantastic members of Carolina's 50-year reunion class of 1967. Not only did they have great music, they were born at the end of World War II, and they were here during a time that was defined by the Vietnam War, the Civil Rights Movement, and the opening of doors to women and minorities. And I want you to just think for a moment what they accomplished in those 50 years since leaving Carolina. Radical changes in the world over the last half century, unimaginable when they graduated, were born of their creativity and their push to make and try new things after graduating. A good friend of mine, Dr. Kip Thorne, who is one of the world's leading theoretical physicists, once said, "No matter how we try, we can only travel forward. The relativistic laws guarantee it." You're always going to have a home here in Chapel Hill, but your next home, residing in the future, and the law of physics, is already pulling you forward. So now let's get going to celebrate you, the fresh face of yet another unimaginable future. I am so proud to welcome the class of 2017. (3,790) undergraduates, 1,337 master's students, 614 professional students, and 294 doctoral students. I'd also like to recognize our 645 Carolina firsts, the first in their families to go to college. Woo! And I'd like to recognize all of our active duty and veteran graduates. They are wearing special red, white, and Carolina blue cord. They include 25 newly commissioned ensigns and second lieutenants in the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and Air Force. I'd like to ask everyone who has served or will be serving to please stand, including the audience, so we can thank you for your service to our country. I'd also like to recognize our 20 Chancellor Science Scholars, which is the first class of Chancellor Scholars to graduate in this groundbreaking program. And I'd like to thank the 842 members of the class of 2017 who've already given more than $20,000 in the senior campaign for Carolina. And also just to say that you continue to give to this fund until June 30th, so you still have time. These gifts are so important, though. They truly do help us recruit outstanding faculty. They help keep college affordable for all sorts of talented students just like you, and they set a standard for those that follow. So thank you very much for that. You know, it's about 32% of Americans who hold bachelor's degrees. 10% hold master's, and less than 2% hold professional degrees or academic doctorates. While the future is very bright for those with degrees, I want you to remember that you hold these degrees in large part because of the support of hardworking people in North Carolina, the majority of whom do not hold such degrees, and may never have had the chance to do so. And because of the generosity of thousands of alumni over the years and benefactors who care deeply about you. So as we celebrate your great accomplishments under Carolina blue sky, I ask you to always remember that with that great privilege comes an even greater responsibility. Finally, I'd like to ask you to join me in a moment of silence in tribute and remembrance for the members of our community and others whom you have loved who have passed away, knowing that they are walking with you today in spirit. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to introduce my distinguished colleagues on the platform who also believe in your capacity and in your promise. I'm going to call their names and ask them to stand and remain standing, and I'll ask you to hold your applause until I've recognized everyone. James Dean, Executive Vice Chancellor and Provost. Winston Crisp, Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs. Allison Legge, Interim Registrar and Senior Associate Director for Enrollment and Undergraduate Admissions. Carol Hunter, Interim Vice Provost for the University Libraries. Bruce Cairns, Chair of the Faculty. Charles Streeter, Chair of the Employee Forum. Dylan Russell, President of the Graduate and Professional Students Federation. Elizabeth Grady, President of the Senior Class of 2017, and Rich Burris, Vice President of the Senior Class of 2017. Also with us are members of the Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and I'll introduce each of them. Jeff Brown, Lowry Cottle, Haywood Cochran, Don Curtis, Charles Duckett, Julia Grumbles, Allie Ray McCullen, Ed McMahon, Hari Nath, Bradley O'Perry, and Dwight Stone. Thank you for participating in this ceremony and all you do. And now it's my special privilege to introduce Hannah Gage, proud member of the Carolina class of 1975, member of the UNC Board of Governors since 2001, 16 years. Hannah is the first and only woman to have chaired the Board of Governors, and she's served the state of North Carolina with distinction as a champion for higher education opportunities for all citizens of the state. She will bring greetings and present the Board of Governors Excellence in Teaching Award. Thank you.
Good morning. It's my honor to bring greetings on behalf of the University of North Carolina Board of Governors and UNC President Margaret Spellings, to the trustees and alumni and chancellor of the nation's first and best public university, to the faculty, staff, and students, to members of the platform party, and most of all, to the graduates and their families, welcome and congratulations. I've served on the Board of Governors for 16 years, and in all that time, days like today have not lost their magic. A lot has changed. The state has grown. Our economy has shifted. Facebook became a thing and somehow stayed a thing. But the age-old rituals of commencement have held steady. There's a reason for that. You all have seen technological changes, political progress and upheaval, economic challenges, and social movements. You've had to adapt to a landscape that is always changing. And that's why this day, today, emphasized something timeless: your enduring commitment to higher learning. Whatever opportunities and obstacles lie ahead, this achievement is yours, and it joins you to a long line of graduates who have come before and will come after. It also joins you to the incredible faculty and staff of this institution, the heart and soul of Carolina. We honor them this morning by presenting the Board of Governors Award for Excellence in Teaching. Established in 1994 to emphasize the value of teaching and to reward devoted faculty across the university, the awards are given annually at each of North Carolina's public universities. And I am thrilled to announce that this year's recipient at UNC-Chapel Hill is Dr. Jane Threlkeld. Will Chancellor Folk and Dr. Threlkeld please come forward? Dr. Threlkeld is the Bowman and Gordon Gray Distinguished Term Associate Professor in the Department of English and Comparative Literature, where she has become a leader in the field of medical humanities. Her courses challenge students to break down academic barriers and consider how text and cultural narratives shape our understanding of science and medicine. Her goal is to help students develop the analytical tools along with the empathy and tact for living in a complex, diverse, and risky world. In the process, she has broadened our understanding of the human condition and opened the eyes of thousands of students to the connections between the sciences and humanities. Dr. Threlkeld, for your commitment to students and your creativity in reimagining academic boundaries, I am proud to present this award. In honoring you, we also give thanks for the more than 14,000 dedicated faculty who teach throughout the University of North Carolina. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Gage. I'm now pleased to introduce the Chair of the Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Dwight Stone. Mr. Stone will bring greetings today from the Board of Trustees.
Good morning, new graduates. That has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? I'm honored to bring greetings and happy Mother's Day wishes on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. We're so proud of what you have achieved in both your academic work and in making our Carolina community a better place. The depth and breadth of your accomplishments are impressive. We know your success would not have been possible without the devoted support of the parents, family members, and friends who are here with us today. So I extend the trustees' congratulations to all of you on such a memorable day for your families and in the life of our great university. I'm especially excited that Carolina is gaining such a special class of new alumni. Earning a Carolina diploma was one of the most important things I've ever done. So was joining my wife Diane to watch our 3 children accomplish that very same dream here. On my own graduation day, the feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment was enormous. But as the years have passed by, the sense of pride that I've experienced in earning a Carolina degree has only grown stronger. Much stronger. I think you can expect something similar to happen to you because the full magnitude of the time you spent on this breathtakingly beautiful campus and in Chapel Hill is such a powerful influence that never fades with time. At Carolina, we transform lives in truly extraordinary ways. That fact is a great tribute to our students, faculty, staff, alumni, and friends of the university alike. As trustees, part of our role is to support Chancellor Folk, her administration, and the deans in making sure that our students have the very best opportunities that such a great global public research university can offer. In that way, our university acts on one of the most important core values, serving the public good, to shape how you apply your knowledge and skills to help improve people's lives here in North Carolina and beyond. Whatever pathway you choose to pursue in the future, we're confident you are exceptionally well prepared to seize those opportunities and take on big challenges because of the high-quality education you received here. There's no limit to the good you all can do. Changing the world for the better is part of this university's DNA. More than 2 centuries ago, the university's founders believed that an educated person was an asset for all citizens. That's one reason your Carolina education has included a focus on engagement and public service. Our hope is that you will prove our founders were right by continuing to remain active in public service after you leave Chapel Hill. Congratulations on your academic and personal achievements and the very best wishes for your future success. We're very proud of each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Stone. I'm now pleased to introduce the Chair of the Board of Directors of the General Alumni Association, Teresa Williams, who will bring greetings on behalf of Carolina's more than 310,000 living alumni.
Congratulations, graduates. Today, you become a permanent member of the University of North Carolina's 223-year history and tradition of excellence. After many arduous days, hard work, anxious moments, and late nights, you have earned your degree from Carolina. You and your family can be proud of your sacrifices and your accomplishments. You are joining the largest and only permanent part of our Carolina family. Today, you become one of more than 317,000 living UNC alumni who live in all 50 states and over 140 countries around the world. The UNC General Alumni Association is proud to be the official organization for all UNC students and graduates. Carolina is a lifelong connection. The GAA will keep you linked to your university, your classmates, and your Tar Heel friends. It will provide opportunities to participate in and attend Carolina club events, reunions, sporting events, and provide a wide-ranging menu of available alumni activities. Our bi-monthly publication of the Alumni Review will keep you informed and up to date on what is happening at UNC, and you will always know where you can find other alumni through our alumni directory. We encourage you to take advantage of our networking opportunities and career services program. No matter where you live, please keep the GAA updated with your address. So again, on behalf of all Carolina alumni, the GAA extends congratulations to each of you for a job well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Commencement is an opportunity for us to recognize some very special and accomplished individuals who embody the mission of a great institution and inspire all of us. Each year, the faculty selects remarkable individuals for their distinguished service, to the university, to the state, to the nation, and the world. Upon these individuals, we are very privileged to confer honorary degrees in recognition of their exemplary achievement and impact. So I now call upon Provost Dean to lead the ceremony, and Vin Stepanidis, Secretary of the Faculty, will come forward to read each citation.
Will Dean Bob Lewin please conduct forward Dr. Fred Eshelman?
Chancellor Folt, I have the honor to present Dr. Fred Eshelman, who has been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees for the degree of Doctor of Science.
Frederick Neville Eshelman started a small one-person consulting business called Pharmaceutical Product Development in 1985, and over the next 25 years transformed it into a major enterprise that employed over 10,000 people in more than 30 countries worldwide. He was the founding chair of Furiex Pharmaceuticals and is now chairman of the Medicines Company, CEO of Innocrine Pharmaceuticals, and founder of Eshelman Ventures, LLC. In recognition of his leadership in these and other ventures, he was made a laureate of the North Carolina Business Hall of Fame in 2016. After growing up in High Point, North Carolina, Eshelman earned a bachelor's degree in pharmacy from UNC-Chapel Hill, received his doctorate from the University of Cincinnati, and later attended Harvard Business School. He has served on the executive committees of the Medical Foundation of North Carolina and the North Carolina Biotechnology Center, as well as on the UNC Board of Governors. His many honors include the Davey Award from the UNC Board of Trustees and the Distinguished Service Medal from the UNC's General Alumni Association. Over the years, he has generously supported the Eshelman School of Pharmacy, most notably with gifts of $20 million in 2003 for scholarships and faculty development, and another $100 million in 2014 to create the Eshelman Institute for Innovation. The latter was the largest gift in UNC's history and played a key role in elevating the school to the very top of the U.S. News and World Report ranking. For outstanding accomplishment and leadership in science, business, and philanthropy, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is pleased to confer on Frederick Neville Eshelman the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
Fred Eshelman, by virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina, by the state of North Carolina, and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Science.
Will Dean Nena Peragalo Montano please conduct forward Patricia Horojo?
Chancellor Folt, I have the honor to present General Patricia Horojo, who has been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees for the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Lieutenant General Patricia Dallas Horojo served as the 43rd Surgeon General of the United States Army from 2011 to 2015. She was the first nurse and the first woman to hold that position, which was established during the American Revolution in 1775. As Surgeon General, she oversaw the U.S. Army Medical Command, the third largest healthcare system in the United States. A native of Fayetteville, North Carolina, Horojo earned her bachelor's degree from UNC-Chapel Hill and a Master of Science in Nursing from the University of Pittsburgh. She later earned a second master's degree from the National Defense University. In 2010, she was appointed a distinguished professor at the Uniformed Services University of Health Sciences. Having served in Haiti and Afghanistan, Horoho also distinguished herself in the field. Her military awards and decorations include the Distinguished Service Medal, the Legion of Merit, the Bronze Star, the rank of Chevalier in France's National Order of the Legion of Honor, Japan's Defense Cooperation Award Second Class, and the President's Lifetime Achievement Award. She was commended by the American Red Cross as a nurse hero for her actions following the attack at the Pentagon on September 11, 2001. She has also won many civilian honors. The USO named her its 2009 Woman of the Year. UNC-Chapel Hill gave her its Distinguished Alumna Award. NYU's College of Nursing presented her with the Helen Manzin Award. And apropos of today's holiday, Family Circle magazine recognized her as one of our nation's most influential moms. For outstanding accomplishments and leadership in healthcare and military service, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is pleased to confer on Patricia Dallas Horoho the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Patricia Horoho, by virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina by the state of North Carolina and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws.
Will Professor Ann McNeil please conduct forward Thomas Forrest Kelly?
Chancellor Folt, I have the honor to present UNC alumnus and native of the great state of North Carolina, Thomas Forrest Kelly, who has been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees for the degree Doctor of Humane Letters.
Thomas Forrest Kelly is the Morton B. Knopfel Professor of Music at Harvard. Born in Greensboro and raised in Chapel Hill, Kelly earned his BA degree at Carolina and did his graduate work at Harvard, receiving his PhD in 1973. He joined Harvard's faculty in 1994. There, he served as chair of the music department and was named a Harvard College professor in recognition of his undergraduate teaching. Kelly's scholarly works focus on early music, particularly ecclesiastical chant of the Middle Ages. His monumental treatise called The Beneventent Chant, published in 1989, won the Otto Kinkeldy Award as that year's most distinguished book in musicology. This was followed by 11 more books and over 50 scholarly articles written in both English and French. Equally impressive is Kelly's work as a public scholar. He has published 5 books that seek to bring musical scholarship and performance to life for general audiences. The most recent of these, called Capturing Music, The Story of Notation, tells a story that spans 500 years, leading the reader on a journey through medieval Europe and showing how we learned to keep track of rhythm, melody, and precise pitch with a degree of accuracy that was previously unimagined. Kelly has been honored as a Chevalier of the Order of Arts and Letters of the French Republic, a Fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, and a Fellow of the American Academy in Rome. For outstanding contributions to scholarship and the public humanities, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is pleased to confer on Thomas Forrest Kelly the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Thomas Forrest Kelly, by virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina, by the state of North Carolina, and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Humane Letters. "16 years ago, Brooke Baldwin, class of 2001, was sitting where you are today in her Carolina blue robes. Brooke was contemplating where her life would take her, but I bet she didn't have all the details worked out, such as traveling to Istanbul to cover a terror attack, or to Las Vegas to cover a presidential debate, or working at sea aboard a Navy aircraft carrier covering Persian Gulf operations. And I bet Brooke didn't think she would be hosting CNN music segments, interviewing everyone from Young the Giant, to Willie Nelson, to Fitz and the Tantrums, who is that? And to the Carolina Chocolate Drops. I am sure she didn't imagine being parodied on Saturday Night Live by Cecily Strong, or have the opportunity to cover New Year's Eve with Don Lemon. And somehow, she was able to get Duke alum Grant Hill to give advice to UNC grads on her Instagram. That's pretty impressive. While she was at UNC, Brooke was a double major in journalism and Spanish. She studied abroad for a semester in Mexico City, and she anchored the weekly news show, Carolina Week. While at Carolina, she was already honing her on-air and her reporting skills that would lead to the opportunity to host the important 2 to 4 p.m. weekday edition of CNN Newsroom, which she's anchored since 2010. She is a rising talent in the broadcast world, recognized around the world, and has her authentic and ethical approach as a journalist, which is very highly respected. In today's world, where news reporting and even the very future of journalism has become the subject of the news, we are so fortunate to have our own Tar Heel extraordinaire, Brooke Baldwin, here to speak to us today. Ladies and gentlemen, Brooke Baldwin, welcome home.
Melissa McCarthy's podium may move, but so does mine. Carolina, it is so good to be home. Let me manage expectations for this speech and any words of wisdom I might have, because nothing can really top our homegrown distinguished philosopher who proffered, "The ceiling is the roof." Thanks, Michael Jordan. Today I'd like to share my journey with you after I sat in this stadium, in this robe, 16 years ago. I will tell you about how I landed a job at CNN. I'll come clean about my mistakes, and I'll tell you what it's like to work in journalism in 2017. But before we get to me, Tar Heels, let's talk about you. You're the class where 17% of you are the first in your families to graduate college. How about that? Yes, that does deserve applause. You're the class where 60% of you is female. You're the class that in your sophomore year, you experienced the loss of our legendary coach, Dean Smith. And you're the class in your final year when our UNC basketball team showed the courage to fight for redemption and came home as national champions. I loved my time here at Carolina. This is where my commitment to journalism was ignited. People believed in me. That's the force that takes you beyond what you think you can do to what you can do. I call these people believers. First and foremost, my believers were my mom and dad, and they're here today, somewhere up there. Mom and Dad, I love you. And at UNC, my believers were my friends, faculty, and PhD student Dana Rosengard, who pulled me aside in Carroll Hall and demanded to know, why are you hiding behind the camera? You need to be in the anchor chair. And let me tell you, the excitement I felt when I got that call is the very same excitement I have felt at various moments in my career, and it started right here. Now, I realize that some of you know exactly what you want to do, and for the rest of you, it might not be so obvious. Sometimes it takes a little longer, and that's okay. But here's what I will say. Some very accomplished people that I've met have tried a number of things before finding their calling. Facebook, Google, Twitter didn't exist when I graduated. So if you're still trying to work out what it is you want to do, you're in good company. And note to parents, if I may, your biggest gift to these young people is your encouragement and belief in them. So it was the summer of 2001 when I left UNC and landed my first job in Charlottesville, Virginia. Now, there are 200 TV markets, number 1 being New York City, 200 being some tiny town in Alaska. Charlottesville was number 192. I covered everything from the grass roof controversy at Walmart to the grim reality of a double murder. But this is also where I made my first mistake. I froze on live TV. On the heels of that success, I was promoted to weekend morning anchor with my alarm clock buzzing at 2 a.m. So while my UNC friends were out having a good old time on their Saturday night, I was going to work. I was a one-woman newsroom, writing, editing, and producing my hour-long show, all the while rolling the teleprompter with my foot. And I loved it. The man who hired me in that first job, guess where he is now? Right here at UNC. Professor Cupp, wherever you are, thank you. Thank you. I then moved on to West Virginia, and let me say, the people there were lovely. But you know, in a book, when you get to that chapter when the mood comes down and the storm clouds roll in and little things start to go wrong and the main character is just sad? Yeah, that was me. I wasn't sure I'd made the right decisions. I just wasn't hopeful about a lot of things. And it was Christmas Eve, and I was working. And you know what my mom sent me? My brother. We bought dinner at the 7-Eleven, and for a minute, I wasn't lonely. And it was one of the best Christmases I have ever had. Looking back, I needed those 3 years of experience. I learned how to make the best of it, and by the time my contract was up, I finally landed a job in Washington, D.C. That was baptism by fire. I learned very fast about speed and pressures and deadline. And the best part, I worked with the most talented photojournalists in town. And because I showed this willingness to learn, they taught me the art of storytelling, how to conduct a visually compelling interview, and how to be tough. That was a whole different level of experience and exactly what I'd been hoping for. So, when the next opportunity presented itself 2 years later, I was ready. CNN, my dream. Now, at first it was just my foot in the door. It was freelance work, no promises. So at age 29, I moved from my own apartment in DC back into my high school bedroom in my parents' house. I would have loved a job offer, but I knew I had to prove myself and walk that fine line between being persistent and pushy. There were many days when I wasn't hired and therefore wasn't paid, but I would show up at CNN anyway, pitching stories, emailing producers, trying to get on TV. And after 2.5 years, the nagging uncertainty, those jobs away from home, holidays spent in the newsroom, I was starting to wonder, was all of this worth it? In April 2010, I was in Gulfport, Mississippi, covering that massive oil spill when my phone rang. It was my boss, telling me that CNN wanted to offer me a full-time job as a correspondent. The real deal. The last time I felt that profound sense of belonging was when I was here at Carolina. Thank you. A lot of people ask me what a typical day looks like. And in live TV news, there is no such thing. My alarm goes off around 6:15 in the morning. Most mornings I go to Soul Cycle, fire up my body, which fires up my mind. I'm then reading email and various papers, Twitter. At 8:30 a.m., I jump on my call with my show team, listen to different opinions from my various producers. We discuss how to handle major stories of the day in terms of angles and guests. Sometimes we need a military voice or a member of Congress, an eyewitness, and then we start making phone calls, physically finding these people, and we get moving on this immediately. 9 a.m., I listen to the network call, which outlines the day's timeline, the top stories and who's reporting on them. Jeff Zucker, president of CNN, leads that call. And at about 10:15 in the morning, I'm in hair and makeup. I do not wake up looking like this. By about 11 a.m., I'm in my office just seeing which guests we've confirmed and which guests I should reach out to myself. I begin crafting questions for those live interview segments. I've got an eye on these 4 TVs in my office, on CNN and other networks. An hour later, I speak with my Jedi executive producer, Eric Hall. We lead editorial decisions, sharpen the focus of each segment, what I need to be asking, anticipating surprises, such as 2 guests with opposing views and how I should handle them should things go south. About 10 minutes before showtime, I change my clothes, walk to my set in the middle of the newsroom, one final makeup check, pop in my earpiece, say hi to the control room. The lights go on, and at 2 p.m. Eastern, I go live. Say at around 2:14, we hit our first commercial break. I've just interviewed 4 people about our lead story. I'm checking my notes, I've got an eye on email, I've got an eye on Twitter, and we're live and we're off again on a segment on the FBI. We have 3 people lined up, 2 sitting next to me on set, and 1 big newsmaker we've landed in Washington. 1 minute into that conversation, as I'm still listening to the person next to me, my executive producer, Eric, gets in my ear from the control room and in a calm but firm voice says, "Brooke, there's been a shooting." I take a breath. The teleprompter goes blank. An entire day's work gone. I thank my guests, but quickly cut them off and look right into the camera. The breaking news animation rolls, and I welcome my guests in the United States and around the world. Breaking news, police confirm to CNN an unknown number of people have been killed at a workplace in San Bernardino, California, and the shooter is still at large. Suddenly a map pops up on the screen showing the location of the shooting, and with very little information to go on it first, I calmly tell the world what is happening. Behind the scenes, my team is rushing to find people for me to interview, and for the next 2 hours I'm pivoting between eyewitnesses, reporters, law enforcement. All the while I'm constantly adding new information confirmed by CNN. There is chaos in the control room, but I have to be calm, sensitive, and above all, accurate. I have had many days just like that, and it never gets easier. I will never forget being in Newtown. Where 20 first graders were murdered. I interviewed hardened firefighters who could never unsee the unthinkable. I saw tiny white caskets, and I went home. I sat in the darkness, watched the sun set, and wept for the children who would never see the sun set again. In Charleston, I have been in that Bible study room and later interviewed the one woman whose life that racist murderer had spared. In Boston, I interviewed a veteran firefighter welling up as he described the haunting memory of covering that little boy's body at the finish line of the marathon. Last summer, I was sent to Orlando. 49 people had been murdered in a gay nightclub. And we had to tell the brutal story of the victims and the survivors, and we had the added dimension of this atrocity happening in an election year. Meaning, we had to consider the effect of this terror attack on the election, how the campaigns would respond, and in turn, how the electorate would judge them. In the last 2 years, I have covered senseless carnage in Paris, Istanbul, Nice, the very worst of the human condition. Innocent lives stolen, families wrecked, impossible questions unanswered. But I will say this, the all too familiar cards, candles, tears, tributes, you see the very best of the human condition too. An overpowering resolve that life must continue, and an outright rejection of threats to our freedoms. 2016 also brought us the presidential election. My world changed. The second Donald Trump rode down the escalator in June of 2015, confounding the widely held view that he was a temporary candidate seeking publicity. In 17 months of chaos, I traveled to the debates, the primaries, but most importantly, I traveled to the voters themselves in their communities, listening to what matters to them. Now, I hadn't expected this. I met young women at a Bernie Sanders rally in Iowa, and they told me voting for the first female president wasn't a big deal, because they fully expected that to happen in their lifetimes. But an 80-year-old woman in New Hampshire saw it as her last chance. I sat on a Harley with some bikers who saw a billionaire TV star as the answer to make America great again. I talked to African Americans inside a barbershop in Atlanta who didn't believe a word from either candidate. The months dragged on and on. Now, I never claimed to know how the election would go, but on the ground, I definitely sensed a disconnect between the polls and the people. It didn't seem as clear-cut as the numbers suggested. In fact, my standard reply to anyone who would ask me, who do you think will win, was the following: I'm waiting for Wolf Blitzer to tell me. And at 2:47 a.m. on November 9th, he did exactly that. And we are 6 months out from that day. I still can't tell you if there is one overall reason Trump won. I know Democrats have plenty of reasons, but I'll tell you this: no one listened enough. No one listened enough. That reason alone is part of why I do this, journalism. Let me state the obvious. I have a front row seat to the world's biggest stories. I have a voice, and that's nothing less than an incredible privilege. It's our job to listen and hold people accountable. We have to scrutinize our leaders, call them out. In 2017, despite what you might have heard, journalism has never been more alive, more crucial. You've seen it this week. People need facts. We provide them across all platforms. Our stories drive markets, shape thinking, influence legislation, and put light on some of the world's darkest places. I believe very strongly that we owe our viewers and readers nothing less than honest, balanced, accurate news. And that is what we are committed to doing every day at CNN. And being a woman in journalism, well, the good news, there are lots of women in journalism. At CNN, we have a deep, talented bench. Elsewhere, we have seen courageous women at another network stand up to their leader and call out injustice and sexism. A titan fell. And this spring, a female journalist spent tireless hours on a piece about that network, a piece that triggered the end of a powerful cable news host, a host who was called untouchable. Emily Steele of the New York Times had been openly threatened by this host in the past. He said to her, and I quote, "I'm coming after you with everything I have." But she didn't budge. She didn't back down. Her journalistic voice was heard, and that network is still feeling the aftershock. Oh, and by the way, she is one of us. Emily is a Tar Heel. This is the work we do every day. I am proud to be a woman in this era, in this time, at this moment, because what is truly untouchable is our thirst for the truth. I wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for my friends and my family, and let me just tell you one last story. It was the spring of 2015. President Obama name-checked me at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I had just been parodied on Saturday Night Live. I'm filling in on prime time. Variety magazine wrote me up for beating Fox in the ratings race, and I had just summited all 19,345 feet of Mount Kilimanjaro. Life was good. but then it happened. I made a big, big mistake. I was covering the Baltimore riots following the death of a young black man in police custody. The atmosphere was electric, volatile. Events were unfolding very quickly. I was interviewing a member of Congress live on the air when I quoted a thought I had been told several times the previous days, but I didn't attribute it as I absolutely should have. The long and the short of it is that it allowed the perception that I slighted some of our nation's heroes. I became the story. With lightning speed, my words engulfed the internet. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Fox News, lacerating, graphic, violent threats were pointed at me. I felt vulnerable, alone, exposed, horrified that veterans, many of whom are my friends, my family members, and whose organizations I support, could in any way have appeared slighted. Would I keep my job? How could I recover from the online backdraft? That evening, I went to my hotel and closed the door. I couldn't eat, I couldn't think, I couldn't sleep, and at 10 p.m., there was a knock on my door. One of my oldest friends, Commander Bobby Rashad Jones, U.S. Navy and friend since the 7th grade, had jumped in his car, driven across state lines, into the night to come and find me. It was a low, dark, desolate moment, and Rashad was there. And that is when you learn who your real friends are. The next morning, I apologized live on air. CNN stood by me every step of the way. The point of this story, two things. One, recovery. Class of 2017, you are going to make mistakes. The key is acknowledging them and then recovering from them with grace and humility. Two, friendship. Our friends define us, improve us, are one of life's greatest pleasures, celebrate our successes, and are there when we need them or when they need us. And maybe somewhere along the way, you'll meet the person you want to share your life with. I have. It took me 36 years to find him. Every day with you, James, is a gift. I began by telling you about being here at Carolina and the value of surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, bring out the best in you, dare you to be the best version of yourself. As a child, I watched my dad get on planes every single week to do his consulting job. He set an example of drive, follow through, and curiosity to see the world. My mom taught me kindness, humility, gratitude, and how fitting that it's Mother's Day. Moms, round of applause. And speaking of families, I know your moms, dads, brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, grandparents are here celebrating you. And of course, we are also here honoring them. We have something special in common. We're Tar Heels. And for the rest of our lives, we share this great honor and responsibility to look out for one another. And as time goes on, our Carolina connection grows. There are people in 10, 20 years looking up to you. And let me tell you, as someone who has sat there, now when my inbox is overflowing with work, there are only 2 words in the subject line that will stop me from whatever I'm doing, and they are Tar Heel. I stop, I read it, and I respond. And I just ask one favor of you all, please do the same. Tar Heels have been to space, won Oscars, run states. They've worked the night shift as a nurse to save lives, or have been the last hand to hold on when a life is passing away. They've spent longer hours after school so a child gets extra help, extra care. They've built businesses, preached the gospel, fought the war, carried the flag. Wherever you go, whatever you do, this Carolina degree carries with it a gravity, a legacy, a responsibility, and no one can ever take that away from you. People are full of great advice. Professors, parents, friends mean well. But in the end, the person driving this thing called life is you. Listen to you. Spend time being alone. Learn your worth. Dream. And never forget where you came from. Congratulations, class of 2017. Go get 'em. We are Tar Heels. Thank you again, Ms. Brooke Baldwin. We're so proud of you and love seeing you out there covering the news. Thank you so much. It's now time to turn to the conferral of the degrees. This is when I decide if I'm going to actually let the class of 2017 graduate. I kind of want to keep you. Let's take a moment to recognize our outstanding undergraduates. These seniors are exceptionally accomplished students who exemplify the highest possible level of undergraduate scholarship. Will the candidates for baccalaureate degrees with highest honors please rise and remain standing? Will the candidates for baccalaureate degrees with honors please rise and remain standing? Congratulations to all of you on this outstanding representation of day in and day out academic achievement. You're allowed to sit now. I'd like to now call on the deans of the university in order of the anniversary date of each college or school to present their candidates for doctoral, master's, and baccalaureate degrees. Will Dean Kevin Guskowitz please come forward to present the students from the College of Arts and Sciences?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you candidates for degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences. Will those students please rise?
Thank you. Will Dean Martin Brinkley please come forward to present the students from the School of Law? You can remain seating till we ask you to stand again. School of Law.
Chancellor Folt, I'm pleased to present to you the candidates for degrees in the School of Law. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean William Roper please come forward to present the students from the School of Medicine?
Chancellor Folt, I'm pleased to present to you the candidates for degrees in the School of Medicine. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Fuad Abd el-Khaliq please come forward to present the students from the School of Education?
Chancellor Folt, I'm pleased to present to you the candidates for degrees in the School of Education. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Bob Lewin please come forward to present the students from the Eshelman School of Pharmacy?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you candidates for the degree from the Eshelman School of Pharmacy. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Steve Matson please come forward to present the students from the Graduate School?
Chancellor Folt, I'm pleased to present to you the candidates for Masters of Professional Science. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Doug Shackelford please come forward to present the students from the Keenan Flagler Business School?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for degrees in the Keenan Flagler Business School. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Gary Bowen please come forward to present the students from the School of Social Work?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for degrees at the School of Social Work. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Susan King please come forward to present the students from the School of Media and Journalism?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for degrees that Brooke has from the School of Media and Journalism. Will these great students please rise?
Will Dean Gary Marcinini please come forward and present the students from the School of Information and Library Science?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for degrees in the School of Information and Library Science. Will these students please stand?
Will Dean Barbara Reimer please come forward to present the students from the Gilling School of Global Public Health?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for degrees in the Gilling School of Global Public Health. Will these students please rise? Congratulations.
Will Dean Scott DeRossi please come forward to present the students from the School of Dentistry?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for degrees in the School of Dentistry. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Nena Paragallo Montano please come forward to present the students from the School of Nursing?
Chancellor Folt, I'm pleased to present the candidates for degrees in the School of Nursing. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Mike Smith please come forward to present the students from the School of Government?
Chancellor Folt, I'm pleased to present to you candidates for degrees in the School of Government. Will these students please rise? Congratulations.
This is it. Will all degree candidates please rise? By virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina, by the state of North Carolina, and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree for which the faculty has certified you, together with all the rights and privileges thereunto pertaining. And I offer you my warmest congratulations. Now please be seated. I now invite Elizabeth Grady, President of the senior class, to say a few words on behalf of the class of 2017. And at the conclusion of her remarks, she will be joined by Senior Vice President of the class, Rich Burris. And together they will lead you in the switching of your tassel, signifying your graduation from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Good morning, class of 2017. Can you all believe this day is finally here? First of all, I want to take a moment and give a special thank you to everyone in the stands this morning for supporting us on this journey. But most importantly, on this beautiful Sunday morning, to all of the moms here today, tuning in via live stream, or simply present in spirit, thank you for the immeasurable sacrifices you have made and unconditional love you have given to us. Happy Mother's Day. As each of us left home this morning to make the trek to Kenan Stadium, we did so with a mixed bag of emotions. Some of us excited, some of us anxious, some of us feeling downright ill. Why? Because we knew this time would be different. As a Carolina blue sea descended upon Kenan Stadium this morning, there were pauses, reflections, and tears. Not because the path we took to get here this morning was out of the ordinary, but because it was different. Many of us thought back to move-in day, 4 years ago, anxious yet excited to see what all Carolina had to offer. Well, offer Blue Heaven sure did. 2017, we are a class of many firsts. The first class to have had Chancellor Folt for all 8 semesters, the first class to beat that school that shall not be named 8 miles down the road by 8 points, 8 days after they bailed on us. And the first senior class to win a national championship in 8 years. Sure seems like 8 is our lucky number, doesn't it? We went through many firsts, not only as a class, but individually. The first failed exam, the first heartbreak, the first reality check. But met with each of these hard times were even better ones. The first collegiate academic discovery, the first time rushing Franklin, the first time soaking up a perfect Carolina blue sky, just like this morning, while lying on the quad. I'm not sure when it hit you, but I remember the exact moment it hit me. The moment that when we realized this, right here, is what it means to be a Tar Heel. To wear the prettiest shade of blue, to be a part of something far greater than ourselves. As the waves of emotions permeated our walks here this morning, perhaps it is because we were reminded that our walks that led us to Blue Heaven in the first place were vastly different. We came from towns and cities, big and small, across the state and across the world. Somehow, however, we all ended up in a small college town and in the middle of North Carolina. Standing here this morning, I couldn't be more thankful that we did. The people that were once strangers are now our closest friends. The subjects that once loomed ahead are now behind. And the unfamiliar places are now home. As much as we cling to the physical concept of home, whether it be Hinton James, 411 East Rosemary Street, or a house shared with 6 of your best friends senior year, 4 years later, we all have a new idea of what the concept of home means. Home is not just the place you go back to at the end of the day, but the place that grows you, the place that builds you, the place that shapes you into the person that you are destined to become. But home is so much more than an address. Home is the people who make it that way. Home is the people sitting in blue on either side of you today. Home is the people sitting in the stands who have supported us in our journey to this long-awaited day. Home is the late nights spent out with friends, laughing till the break of dawn. Home is the feeling you get when running full speed towards Franklin Street after a Carolina victory without a care in the world. Home is being arm in arm with other Tar Heels, singing the alma mater at the top of your lungs. Home is when you are with those you love. Home is Carolina. Though we are teary-eyed on this beautiful morning, we are so incredibly fortunate because the chance to be Tar Heels is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Each and every one of us took that chance, and we ran with it. We now share an instant bond with everyone who came before us and anyone that will come after us, because we are Tar Heels, born, bred, and dead. As our paths begin to change, we can take comfort in knowing that we will never leave home. Sure, we will leave Chapel Hill and go our separate ways, but we will never leave the true meaning behind the word home, the people who make it that way. We may end up in different cities or even on different continents, but these people will forever be home to us. And to paraphrase Charles Perrault, wasn't that exactly how it was meant to be? Home is not the old well, the bell, the stone walls, the crisp October nights, or even the memory of the dogwoods blooming. Home is the people that make it that way. Home is each of you. Home is the University of the People. And home is Carolina. Congratulations, class of 2017. We did it.
As Vice President of the Class of 2017, I'm privileged to lead you in moving your tassels from right to left, signifying our new status. Congratulations to the Class of 2017.
Congratulations, graduates. Welcome to the ranks of alumni of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Eleanor Roosevelt once said that true friends will leave footprints in your heart. So I think you can figure out where I'm going with this. True Carolina friends leave heel prints in your heart. But I have to tell you, you have left heel prints in my heart, and I am so grateful to you. Wow, thank you. No, it's really, I really do mean that. Over the past 4 years, we have had so much fun while also facing some big challenges. We have certainly taken selfies everywhere, and I love those, thank you. You planted the nation's first on-campus edible garden. You committed to big goals for sustainability and for serving locally grown food in our cafeterias and working together to fight the scourges of sexual assault and racial discrimination. We celebrated our teams as they were crowned champions and stormed Franklin Street a few times. We watched Professor Aziz Sanjar receive a Nobel Prize. We saw our faculty commit to a global partnership to cure AIDS. We saw them discover how to turn skin cells into stem cells, into brain cells to solve brain cancer. And we saw, and the world is able to see, them make archaeological headlines for excavations in Galilee that are chronicled in the IMAX movie, Jerusalem. You brought the arts to life with Arts Everywhere. And we came together as a community to celebrate 3 very special lives, and from terrible tragedy, built lasting works of goodwill and service. In 2013, when I addressed the Carolina community for the very first time as Chancellor, I challenged you, not just to learn what is already known, but to be those people creating what is not yet known. And I called upon you to use your time at Carolina to develop the skills and the courage that you would use to take your great ideas and your passions and make them a reality. And I have loved watching you take on those challenges. And I have no doubt that you will become America's greatest innovation generation yet. You're about to leave a known present for a less predictable future in the context of a world facing uncertainty. And the world needs you. It needs your innovation, your critical thinking. It needs your analytical skills. I am certain you're going to create dazzling art and culture. You're going to rethink some of the very disciplines that you've been studying so hard while you're here. You're going to develop entirely new ways of healing, of teaching, of running businesses, and as journalists and communicators, you're going to keep the world responsibly informed. I also know that you're going to serve selflessly, with compassionate hearts and buoyant spirits and helping hands. And I also know you're going to challenge the status quo. On University Day this year, our brilliant Vice Provost for Enrollment and Undergrads Admission, Steve Farmer, said, "At UNC, it's not where we start, it's the miles we travel." Class of 2017, when you leave this home, please make those miles count. Go out and build new homes where all are welcome, where differences are respected. Build homes of encouragement and love and joy. You've done it once. You can do it again. And you share that with the class of 1967. They had no idea what their future would be. Neither did our incredible honorees and our speaker. But just look where those Tar Heels have gone. Look what they've done. But most importantly, see who they are. They each stepped over our low stone walls and they took Carolina to the world. And now, so must you. Now, Brooke has been sharing some pretty cool advice for her 21-year-old selves and others. And my charge to the class of 2017 is also the advice I would like to have given to my 21-year-old self. And it's really pretty simple. It is be yourself. Be the authentic you. Only you can be that unique person. And you have to trust that one. You have to listen to your conscience. And don't let anybody else define you. The wisest mothers and the best business people, the most clever scientists, and the most impactful leaders all know that our greatest success comes when you're not following a recipe or following instructions, but it comes when you're veering off the more traveled road, when you're making your own mistakes, and when you learn to let yourself be yourself. I'm certain that's what's going to get you through times of opportunity as well as uncertainty. That's what will help you be a true force for good for others, and it will build the foundation of the relationships we all need to face and flourish in the uncertainty that is certain to come over the course of a life. So now it's your turn, class of 2017. Your big moment really has arrived, and it brings to mind the words from the music of Carolina's wonderful bluegrass band, Mipso. They sing, "These will be our good old days, all the scenes we will replay before we scatter to the breeze." So you're about to scatter to the breeze, but I hope that like the class of 1967, over the next 50 years, you will return to Carolina many times to reconnect and build new bonds. Carolina will be your home anytime, for all time. America's first public university, the University of the People, took light and liberty to be our powerful charge. So class of 2017, be bright, be powerful, be true. Thank you. Now, I'm going to ask the class to do something pretty exciting because you now have your degree, but I think you need to stand up and throw those hats. Class of 2017. Now it's time to honor another Carolina tradition as you're standing, and ask you to help me give a huge applause for the family and friends of our graduates, parents, spouses, children, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, visiting friends, next door neighbors. Please stand so we can thank you. Thank you. We'd also like to thank Jeff Fuchs, the director of the university band, and your fellow student musicians for their music today. I want to thank our student marshals for their work. And this one's really important. I want you to join me in thanking the many Carolina employees who have made the event possible, made this place so beautiful, decked out our campus, make our lives pleasant, and truly love you. Graduates, as you leave today, you'll exit by the stadium by going up the stairs and out the stadium. So now it's my pleasure to introduce the UNC Cliffhangers with their seniors, who will perform Carolina in My Mind. And following their performance, UNC Harmonics with their seniors will lead us in singing Hark the Sound. Afterwards, please remain in your seats until the platform party and the faculty exits the field, and then you can go left and right and join your families. Thank you.
In my mind, I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Hearing she's a silver sun, best walk her away and watch her shine, and watch her watch the morning come. The silver tear appearing now, I'm crying, ain't I? I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. Ain't no doubt in no one's mind that love's the finest thing around. She whispers something soft and kind. Hey babe, the sky's on fire and I'm dying, ain't I? I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. In my mind, I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Dark and silent late last night, might have heard the highway calling. Geese in flight and dogs are by. Signs that might be omens say I'm going, gone to Carolina in my mind. With a holy host of others standing around me, still I'm on the dark side of the moon. And it seems like it goes on like this forever. You must forgive me. If I'm up and gone to Carolina in my mind. In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine hit me from behind when I'm gone to Carolina in my mind? When I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. I'm gone when I'm gone. Won't you say nice things about me when I'm gone, gone? Won't you carry on without me